Hello, and welcome back to the podcast. This is, well, we've had a slight title change on the podcast. I know the previous podcast we called it TNT, Tim and Teresa, but we had some second thoughts on that, especially since I looked around a little better than I did the first time and found that there's already a TNT podcast out there. So that's not going to work. But I came up with podcast Salmonella because Teresa's not always going to be here with me hosting the show. It may be someone else. Maybe we may have guests. I don't know at this point, but we'll see how it works out. Anyways, I'm Tim.
I'm Teresa.
And I think last time we did this, I didn't give Teresa a chance to say much about herself, so I'd like to give her this opportunity to do so. So go ahead.
Well, let's see. I'm a sort of a girl of all trades. Crafter, builder, animal rescuer, semi-movie geek, I would say.
Basically one cool human being.
Thank you. Not that you're biased, but
Not,
thank you.
I'm not biased at all. I thought that before we were ever a couple. So.
What are we talking about today?
Well, today I thought it would be good. We just, just recently we got back, not got back, it's actually been a few days, but we saw the recent live Rifftrax, the Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny. and also with all of the MST3K business going on right now, especially having to do with
the redo.
Yeah, the redo that they're doing. I thought it would be
timely and topical.
Very timely, very topical. Topical. Yes.
Yeah, topical. You don't want to be licking things. So
no, absolutely not. Gross.
Yeah.
But I just thought it would be nice to talk about this stuff. Anyways, let's start by talking about Mystery Science Theater 3000.
You're fairly new to the...
Yeah, tell people what your history with it first.
Well, I grew up overseas because my dad worked for the Department of Defense.
Mm-hmm.
And we got back here in 1996. And I don't remember how soon I started watching, but I came to it in the latter years of Sci-Fi Channel era.
Mm.
I think the first episode I saw was Revenge of the Creature.
Mm-hmm.
And so I fell in love with it then.
Mm-hmm.
And kept all my tapes. And then in later years, when my tapes were wearing out, I began to find the bootleg market on the internet. And then when I got you, I tried to introduce it to you, and...
It worked.
It worked.
Were you always a fan of good, bad movies, or was it because of this show?
I don't really know, because I was in my probably very early 20s when I started watching it, so I think your bad movie taste develops as you get older, because you learn more about what's good, bad.
Yeah.
Just like some of the stuff you've talked about watching as a kid that you took totally seriously and was fine, like the Christmas tree one.
Absolutely. I do think there's an element to that.
Yeah.
Like, people say that they've always thought some things, like when I watched that, it was bad, and I knew it was bad. I don't think that's always the case.
Especially when you're little.
When you're a kid, it's just a movie.
Yeah.
You don't think of it any other way. You don't think of it as good or bad. You might not like it, but you don't think that's bad.
Yeah, yeah.
It isn't until you start getting older, maybe around teenage years, that you start picking up on things like that.
Well, now I'm a true convert of... I would rather watch a good, bad movie than most good movies, as you well know, because that's what I always want to watch.
Oh, yeah, that's most of the time that's what you make me watch. Yes. And I'm like, yeah, we could be watching Taxi Driver or something like that. It's like, no,
I'd rather watch Grizzly.
Right, or Rotor, or something like that.
Give me a good sassy gay robot any day. But yes, I'm partial to Killer Animal / 70s disaster movies. They're favorites of mine. And blaxploitation.
Yeah, the blaxploitation especially. And then that's not one that people seem to cover a whole lot when they talk about.
I'm afraid that they'll think they'll offend people. But look at Black Dynamite. It was done by African Americans, so that's one thing. But it was done with such love. It's a love letter to that kind of movie. And I think what Rifftrax and MST3K did too. I mean, they had to watch these movies over and over and over again to get the timing and the jokes and everything. So people that just criticize them for mocking these movies, they really, basically, it comes from a place in their heart. And
Absolutely.
It's sincere. And so...
And they just announced I just saw it on Facebook today.
Yes,
that
Disco
they announced
Godfather.
Disco Godfather is coming to Blu-ray.
I can't wait for
via Vinegar Syndrome, and I can't wait. I love that company.
What was the one that you got? Was it for my birthday?
Raw Force?
I love that. I want to
Raw
watch that
Force
one
was
again.
amazing.
Yes,
Yeah.
that one I wish some of the guys would do.
I thought about going and getting that the other day. I may do that. Or may do that today.
We should watch that tomorrow night.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do it.
We're making our plans.
We're making our plans.
The world to listen to.
Right. But anyways, my history with the show is just as Teresa said. I'd never seen the show until she introduced me to it.
And I think, if I remember right, the first one we quote-unquote watched, you were in Kentucky and I was in Texas, was Soul Taker.
Soul Taker. And then we watched Riding with Death.
My favorite.
And I was sold.
Yeah.
And that is, if anybody wants to know, that's our favorite episode of Mystery Science Theater is Riding with Death.
To this day, I still use Ben Murphy as my adjective for cool and mellow.
Right. Feeling very Ben Murphy
Yes,
today.
yes.
Just going to lean back and be
You
Ben
bet
Murphy.
your sweet Bippy.
Bet your sweet Bippy. Can't be. You're invisible.
I'm some gal.
Yeah. So I don't imagine why anybody would be listening to this not knowing what Mystery Science Theater is, but I guess we can go over it a little bit.
Cover the basics.
Cover the basics. Basically what it is a show. The premise is that a guy has been kidnapped by some mad scientists and made to watch bad movies as experiments. And the point of the experiments is to see how crazy he can make him go by watching all of these bad movies.
And to keep saying they make fun of them.
Yeah, and that's the only way that they can get through them is by making jokes. And it usually works. I think there's been a couple of episodes where they...
There's a handful.
Yeah. And, of course, none of this is taken seriously at all. It's just a premise. It's just a setup for what they have to do. But I'm sure you've seen the imagery of black silhouetted people sitting in a theater watching the movie. That's where Mystery Science Theater started that. So
to this day, my aunt will see a bad movie and say that movie needed robots. They needed silhouettes up there.
And there were two hosts. The guy that created it, he was on the show for about 5 years, Joel Robinson. Was that his name in the show?
That was his name in the show.
His name in the show is Joe Robinson. His real name is Joel Hodgson.
Yeah.
Hodgson. That's it.
Hodgson. Yes.
That's it. Sir, you have a difficult name, at least for me. And then Mike Nelson, who was the head writer on the show for years, when Joel left, he took over the lead spot. And other cast members came and went over the years. And and by the way, I should mention that he's not by himself. He also has robots with him.
He built.
Well, Joel built them.
Yes,
Joel built them. And they watched the movie with him. And also they help take care of the ship that they're on and stuff.
They're sort of his surrogate children.
Yeah. At one point, he gets kidnapped and shot into space. I didn't mention that part of it. So that's the premise of the show. And it started out, as far as I can remember, is the episodes that they do is mainly science fiction type.
Oh yeah, 50s B, black and white, rocket ship movie type things. Yeah.
Those kinds of movies. And every once in a while, they'll throw something in there like Kitten with a Whip or...
Yeah, especially the teenage delinquency films from the 50s.
Yeah, which I find impossible to watch.
They are hard.
I find them impossible to watch, and they make me uncomfortable, and I can't really...
It's because you're really some sort of bad boy underneath.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
Right.
And it's like watching me on screen. No, I don't like them. I don't find them appealing at all. And they're just like, somebody slap these kids, you know? But there's those. And those were mostly what Joel did. And then when Mike came along, they started branching.
They mixed it up a little more.
They started branching out into TV movies and things like that, which is where Riding with Death came from. Riding with Death was originally a show called Gemini Man that ran for one season. And they took 2 episodes of the show that had something to do with each other, and they badly edited it with overdubs and stuff to make it seem like a movie. And I don't even know if that was released, if it was released in theaters or if it was
I don't imagine
a TV movie or if it was just straight to tape or something.
I feel like it was.
Remember tape, kids?
Either straight for tape or perhaps for like European. It's sold overseas
to sell the show
or something like that.
Something like that to promote the show overseas. That's possible.
I don't know that for sure.
Yeah, but it didn't work.
No. But it sure is fun to watch.
And it really is. It's like I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, yeah, this is not good, but it's not like unwatchable.
No, there have been a handful of those, even with the Mystery Science Theater treatment, that I can't sit through.
Yeah, that's another aspect. Even though we're Mystery Science Theater fans, we are not devotees.
No.
Which is what I mean by that is
blind devotion.
Blind devotion. There are Mystery Science Theater fans out there that love everything that they do. Lap it up like it's gold. And it's not always gold.
No. I mean, everybody has weak things, and some movies they pick just are so bad that you can't even make fun of it.
And sometimes it's
Roller Gator.
Yeah. And sometimes it's not even that they're like really bad. Sometimes it's just like they're so
dull,
boring,
yeah.
And you can't. It's hard to get any jokes out of that.
And I get sleepy.
Yeah. The one that you always bring up is the version of Hamlet that they did.
Yes, it's a bad German TV production, but the words they're speaking are Shakespeare, and there's really not a lot of humor to find there. And I have yet to make it through the whole thing.
Right.
It's just,
It's a hard episode. Yeah. There's several episodes like that. What is it, Gorgo? I'm sure this is.
This is just our opinion.
Yeah, I'm sure people have different opinions than us.
Don't attack us on the internet.
It took me like 3 or 4 times.
I don't know if I've ever made it through Gorgo.
Yeah, without falling asleep.
I get sleepy. I watch it in the bedroom and I get sleepy.
And that's another aspect to the show as well. I keep saying aspect, but is that it's sort of like comfort food.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
That show is that you could fall asleep on it. It's like an audio commentary. I listen to audio commentaries and fall asleep on them because they're just so. It's like somebody talking and lulling me to sleep, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that what.
That makes me think I used to do that with Bill Curtis's show on A&E, Cold Case Files. Hear about rape and murder, and I'm just out like a light.
You still do that.
I know, but not with him anymore.
Teresa is a Discovery ID addict.
I'm sorry.
You really are.
I like my murder shows.
Yeah.
The good ones, not the ones with the horrible reenactors.
I come into her room, and she's doing something, working on a project or something like that, and she's watching, I don't know, Wives with Knives.
No, I don't watch that one. That's one of the bad ones.
Oh, okay. Well,
mostly like Dateline reruns and 48 Hours reruns.
Yeah, I'm like, you're just you're exposing yourself to
bad thoughts,
murder and shit all day long. It's
but
like
I'm doing something. I'm usually painting or something, and so I'm not actively watching it. So I don't want to watch something I care about because I'm not looking at the TV. So I'm just mostly listening.
That's why I don't understand why you're not watching Mystery Science Theater all the time.
I
know you do, but more often than not, you're watching those
I'll
shows.
watch murder shows too. Yeah. I can't help it. I'm interested in forensic science.
I don't get it.
It's okay.
You know, that's okay. We can have varying opinions.
Oh
on
yeah,
things.
you like some stuff that I don't care for.
I can go watch a David Lynch film, and
he's a little out there for me.
And you can go watch something else.
Okay.
But
yes.
we won't.
We're wandering. We're meandering off topic.
We'll save that one for another day.
But yeah, the Hamlet and the delinquent ones that you talked about. I was a Mike girl because that's who I saw first and how I came to the show. And really, I guess it was Manos was the first Joel episode that I really, really liked. And I've grown to like him too. He's just not my first, you know.
Right.
But
and for a lot of people, that's sacrilege.
Because, I know.
Because they'll say, "Oh no, Joel, it's the best."
I fully admit that I came to the show late, but I figure better late than never. So
I still think Fritz Stewart was stealing Joel's shtick for many years.
They do have this same mostly closed eye thing going on.
Absolutely, and that's Fritz Stewart's whole shtick, especially on Third Rock from the Sun.
I didn't really care for that show.
Yeah, I didn't either, but Mom watched it, and I watched it with her, and he always just had his eyes just barely open.
Yeah. Speaking of Mom, that's where I was going before we meandered. You were talking about comfort food, and I know after my mom died, very unexpectedly, I was so messed up, still am, but so messed up that I couldn't stand to watch much of anything. But I could watch my guys.
Yeah.
And it would shut off my brain for a while.
Right.
And so they hold a special place in my heart.
And also, there's also an element to the show that we were talking about that we disagree with their choice of movies sometimes, to riff. Sometimes they do movies that I don't feel need to be riffed.
Like Hamlet.
Well,
really.
well, I
Technically.
mean, well, in a different in a
Yes.
different way. Edgar Wright famously doesn't like the show,
I know.
and he said one of the episodes that made him dislike the show when he saw it was they did Danger Diabolique,
Yes.
which is a Mario Bava movie that he did as a satire of spy movies. It's a complete satire movie, and they chose that to make fun of, and
Yes.
I disagree with that one as well. I don't think that's a movie that you can make fun of because the satire is there on the screen. And then later in life, after the show was canceled, it started out as on a TV station in Minnesota. Got picked
Local access channel, right?
something like KTMA. Is that
KTMA,
right?
yeah.
And later on, it got picked up by Comedy Central, who were I believe it was just called the Comedy Channel at that point when they were first starting out. And then when South Park and some other shows started dominating the network at Comedy Central,
I think it was even pre-South Park days.
I'm pretty sure they were
When
decided.
did South Park start?
I want to say mid to late 90s. You may be right.
I think I am. Right.
I was thinking. Well, I just know they were retooling their network.
I kind of remember vaguely the time frame of the uproar about South Park, because they did the same thing when The Simpsons started, and Bart was the underachiever, and it was going to ruin today's youth. And the same thing with South Park and Beavis and Butthead, and we're all still about the same.
Right.
And nobody's been ruined.
Well, maybe not.
Maybe not.
But anyways, they were just retooling their network for whatever reason. They didn't want the show anymore, and so they took the show.
Before they quit, they kept moving it around. When I found it, it was on Saturdays at 4:00 in the afternoon Central Time, from 4 to 6. And then before it ended, I think, if I remember right, they'd moved it to like 11 o'clock on Saturday night. And then they may have moved it again. It was getting hard to find, which they had already lost confidence in it and didn't care about it, so they were just shoving it wherever they could.
Yeah. Well, when they decided to get rid of it, they took the show to the Sci-Fi Channel.
Oh, I've jumped ahead. I'm talking about the sci-fi years already. When sci-fi got tired of
I
it.
see. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but that when it did go,
Yes.
it went to the Sci-Fi Channel, and also they started enforcing things on them. When they were at Comedy Central, they pretty much had carte blanche to do whatever they wanted. But once they got to the Sci-Fi Channel told them that they needed to start doing storylines for the skits, even though that wasn't really necessary. People came and went, and like you said, they started shifting the time.
Yeah,
it was on all the time.
That was probably what it went for 10 seasons, yeah?
Yes.
So just a guesstimate, they started moving it around either the latter part of 9 or fully in 10. And this was back in what, 98, 99?
99, something like that.
So I remember our old, we had DirecTV then, and you could only go one day ahead in the guide, so you would have to remember to go look it up because we didn't have internet then to know where, hey guys, where have you moved my show? So it was harder to find then.
Right.
Back in the old days.
Yeah, I think they ran for 10 seasons.
Yeah, I think so. And it was split between Joel and Mike.
Yeah.
5 and 5.
Pretty much.
More
or less. And I think Joel left in the middle of the 5th season.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
After Mitchell. I think Mitchell broke in, right?
Yeah.
That was his last episode, wasn't it?
Yeah, Mitchell was the last one.
It's the baby oil. He just couldn't take it.
I can't blame him.
Poor Linda Evans.
Joe Don Baker and
Yeah, that
just makes me shudder thinking about it.
I have a hard time watching that one.
Yeah. Even though it's like a fan favorite. Most fans say that Mitchell's probably the best episode of the show. And I don't know, I don't agree. But
no, like I said, the ones that are my favorite are the ones that I first saw.
But that's one of the great things about the show is that everybody has their favorite episode.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
And you can't really argue with anybody about it because, we all have our own favorite episodes. Some people think Revenge of the Creature is the best episode they've ever done. Some people think that Soul Taker is the best episode they've ever done. Some people think Hobgoblins or Prince of Space or what's Werewolf.
That's absolutely possible.
You'll know his center for fame and fortune, but over my dead body. You hear me? It's absolutely fascinating.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
Everybody, go up a shirt size.
If I could just fart.
But no, I was, Writing with Death, and I'm just going to loosely do a top 5.
Okay.
Writing with Death, Werewolf.
Revenge of the Creature.
Revenge of the Creature. And like I said, this is all the ones that I saw first. Manos is there because we've talked about how you hardly laugh when you watch it by yourself, and then if you watch it with me or other people, we'd laugh our butts off.
Right.
And Manos was one of the few that I saw by myself that I just burst out laughing, and people around me thought I was crazy because they didn't know what I was watching. So what is that? 4? One more? Horror Party Beach. I like that one a lot.
Well, for me, I think this is also not in any particular order except for the first one. Riding with Death is always the first one. I really enjoy Prince of Space.
Yes, I like it a lot.
I really enjoy Space Mutiny. Let's see.
Sting, Debbie Reynolds, and God.
I was trying to think of some.
I know. As soon as you put on the spot, your mind goes blank.
Right. I can't think of any more.
Werewolf isn't a favorite?
Not my top 5. I like it, but not in my top 5.
I like the, what is it, Teenagers from Outer Space?
That one's pretty good.
That one was one that I was surprised I liked so much.
Trying to think of something that I've watched recently that I like.
Devilfish.
Devilfish. I love Devilfish. I think that one is top 5. And then there's got to be another one out there.
I'm trying to think.
I can't think of
You don't care that much for pod people.
No. That one's just I find that one annoying more than anything.
Chompy, you can do stupid things.
The first 10, 15 minutes of it, it stinks, and then after that, it gets annoying. It gets really annoying.
I'm trying to think. Attack of the Eye Creatures?
No.
Manos?
Maybe Manos. I don't know. Let's move on.
Okay.
I don't want to sit here and drag it out. What I was saying a while back, like 10 minutes ago, or something like that. After the show was canceled, there was a lack of that for a while. All of the people kind of splintered off and started doing their own things, and eventually they came together for different projects. First, Mike Nelson and the 2 guys that were left on the show that were riffing with him, Kevin Murphy and Bill Corbett, started the film crew at Shout Factory, and they did like 4 or 5 titles. We got them over there. I could get up and look, but I don't care that much. It's 4 or 5. It's somewhere in there.
They found them for like what, 75 cents?
Yeah, that's the thing, is that it was not a successful endeavor.
Didn't succeed.
It didn't work, and then
one of them is a sexy movie from the 50s with Rue McClanahan.
Right. Who wants to watch that?
Who wants to see?
Who wants to watch that for fun?
I
know. And then Joel splintered off with his camp with Mary Jo Pale, Trace Bollier. Is that how you pronounce his name?
I think so.
And TV's Frank, and the original Tom Servo.
J.
Elvis Weinstein. And started doing cinematic Titanic. And it started out as live shows around the country. And then they released some DVDs here and there. And I think a year or 2 ago they decided they weren't going to do it anymore, which we'll get into here in a little bit. There's a reason for that. And then after the film crew thing didn't work with Mike Nelson, he came up with a brilliant idea. Let's just riff movies with MP3 commentaries and put them on the internet. And they started Rifftrax. And it was just him for a little bit. And then
that was kind of weird.
It was, yeah, it's hard to listen to the ones where it's just him. He doesn't have anything to play off of.
Even subconsciously, you're just waiting for one of the other guys to say something, and it's a kind of a strange feeling. But
Kevin Murphy and Bill Corbett came on board. And occasionally, people like Mary Jo Pell and Mike's wife, who also worked on Mystery Science Theater, Bridget, show up for stuff sometimes. But Joel and the other guys have never been on any of the Rifftrax stuff, to my knowledge. But anyways, the Rifftrax thing has been immensely successful.
Yes.
And they do MP3 commentaries for movies. They do actual movies. They do live shows. They do shorts. I love the shorts.
Yes.
The shorts I like the shorts more than I do the movies. I think those are more fascinating.
I would agree.
But there's a problem with Rifftrax, and we've talked about this.
Yes.
Is that they just do everything.
Yeah.
there's no clear line of, okay, we're not going to do any good movies. No, we're going to do everything. So we're going to riff on Raiders of the Lost Ark,
Wizard of
Jaws,
Oz,
Wizard of Oz,
Casablanca.
all these classic movies that, okay, they're probably not flawless, but they're fucking good movies. And there's no need to sit and make fun of something when you've got something like Disco Godfather, which to date they've never
No.
done.
Guy from Harlem is the only blaxploitation they've done, and that's one of their best.
One
movies.
of their best riffs that they've ever done, and I wish they'd do more of them.
And I do too. If they're afraid that they'll be seen as racist, that's a shame because.
And the blindly devoted Mystery Science Theater and Rifftrax fans love those riffs of Raiders of the Lost Ark and all that stuff. And we watched Raiders of the Lost Ark with that commentary because I didn't think it was a good idea, but I thought I'd try it, see what happened. It was not funny. I did not laugh once.
I tried to do the same with Jaws and Halloween, and I couldn't finish them because
it wasn't funny.
Getting more annoyed than laughing.
Yeah, it wasn't funny, and it was just like, this is a good movie, guys. You don't need to be doing this. You need to be doing something worthy of what you're doing.
But to the opposite of that equation is movies that are so bad, Roller Gator, that there's nothing funny you can say about this. That damn guitar noodling all the way through over the audio that you can barely hear what's going on just made me want to pull my hair out, and I couldn't finish it.
A story that just can't get itself underway. And
so there's, don't do the good stuff and don't do the pile of shit you found under Long John Silver's dumpster.
Well, some of that stuff can be fun. It all depends on the energy of the bad.
Yeah.
And
they should all have internal barometers to know, hey guys, this is gold, or we're really having to work at trying to make something funny out of this turn.
Yeah.
So you'd think they would have their own discretion to get rid of the chaff, if you will, of the bad, but sometimes it slips through the...
And don't do the good, because it's pointless. It's pointless. These are good movies, guys. You don't need them.
Granted, we haven't listened to all of the riff tracks of the quote-unquote good movies, Casablanca.
I just don't feel the need to.
I don't want to, no.
I don't want to. It's like, I like these movies. I don't need somebody to sit there and make fun. It's like me sitting with a friend of mine in a kitchen or in a couch watching a movie. Let's say, for instance, I don't know, what are we watching? We're watching, I can't think of a good movie.
Manhunter.
Manhunter.
That's the first
That's a really good movie. We're sitting there watching Manhunter, and the guy next to me is sitting there poking fun of it the whole time and saying how awful it is. That's how it feels to me. And I'm like, just shut up and let's watch this good movie that I'm invested in. Yes. It's if you're invested in a movie and the story and the characters and all of that stuff, and then somebody sitting next to you poking fun at everything that you're invested in, that is why I don't care for them making fun of good movies, because it's just a pointless endeavor if you're invested in it.
Yeah. And in my case, the very first time I ever heard of Rifftrax was a friend I had on Facebook that told me about commentary for Roadhouse and Point Break. Now, I like Keanu Reeves. I realize he isn't the world's best actor.
He's far from it, but...
I acknowledge that, but I like him, and I like his good movies. I liked Point Break.
Morpheus?
Shut up. He does that a lot.
I'm going to speed it up. Make it jump the track.
Shut up. You're going to make me lose my place because I'm thinking about Keanu. But when I started the Point Break riff, it was just Mike by himself. And instead of making fun of the movie, he just seemed to be picking on Keanu. And for no reason.
Right.
It was just like the opening credits and stuff when he's at the shooting range. And it just seemed mean. There was not any kind of affection or let's make fun of something that's weird going on in the background or something like that, like we see them do before. It just seemed malicious and mean, and I quit after the first 2 or 3 minutes.
Right.
You want to talk about Cinematic Titanic?
Cinematic Titanic? I don't care much for Cinematic Titanic. And I've got nothing against those people.
I don't like the silhouettes on the side. They block so much of the movie.
It's a different flavor. It's like a different flavor of ice cream.
I like Rattlers, but then see that fits into my bad movie love of 70s disaster, bad killer animal things. So I'm biased towards that one, but that one was fun. I like that one.
It's like chocolate mint ice cream.
Ugh,
Right.
no.
It's like you go to Baskin Robbins, right? And you can have a choice between Rocky Road or chocolate mint.
Can you just get vanilla?
I'm gonna get. Well, you get vanilla. That's very bland, right?
Well, it depends on. I like vanilla. I don't like chocolate mint.
So you get the Rocky Road, but
and that's Rifftrax.
And that's Rifftrax, and then the chocolate mint is the
chocolate
cinematic
mint. That's too. No, that's too. Because we hate chocolate mint.
Some people really love chocolate mint, though.
But pick something like coffee or something. The chocolate mint just makes me want to puke.
Yeah, well, the coffee flavor makes me want to puke too.
Well, okay, fine.
Find me another analogy. Okay, a different kind of pie.
Oh, it's still pie.
It's
so it's
still
basically good.
It's still basically good. Pecan pie. I'm not a fan of pecan pie.
No.
But some people really are.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I wouldn't eat it. I would if I had to. But I'm just not a fan of it. Otherwise, I'm going to fucking eat the shit out of that pumpkin pie.
All over that pie.
All over that pumpkin pie, all over that key lime pie. Now we're just getting into pies that I like.
This will go on for far too long.
It far longer than it needs to. But I really love pie. Take pie over cake any day.
Shut your pie hole.
I did exactly what you asked me to do. Anyways, what was I going? Okay, cinematic Titanic.
Yeah, it was the pie thing. It made your mind wander.
What are some of your favorite bad movies?
Oh.
Good bad, I should say.
Well, Disco Godfather.
Disco Godfather.
Petey Wheatstraw. Just for the love scene with the fruit. That's the one with the fruit, right?
Right.
That just gets batshit.
Right.
The 70s disaster stuff. Poseidon Adventure, Tower. They weren't even that bad.
I didn't even call that a good bad movie,
well,
though. Yeah.
Oh, Grizzly.
Cheesy. I'd call
Food
that...
of the Gods.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Yeah.
Trying to think. To think of ones that they haven't already made fun of.
And that doesn't even really matter. If you got some... Yeah. That doesn't matter.
Oh, Guy from Harlem. I'd never even heard of that before. Right. They did it. I like that one a lot.
You sorry, bitch.
I'll see you later. Fun in Balloon Land. I mean, that is just a mind fuck from start to finish.
That's not a movie, but it's like, why the fuck was this made?
The Room, which I love for itself as well as.
I'm glad you thought of The Room. I love The Room.
I know you love The Room.
The Room is one of those movies like that seems like it could be dull.
Yeah,
but you watch it, and it's one of those movies where you're constantly going, what the fuck?
How did a human being that's lived on this earth make this?
You're going, what the fuck about everything.
Everything.
You look at the lighting, and you go, what the fuck? You look at the performances, and go, what the fuck? You listen to the dialogue, and you go, what the fuck?
I just...
I did not hear her. I did not. It's bullshit. Oh, hi, Mark.
How's your sex life?
How's your sex life, Mark?
Hi, doggy. Oh, that's the thing from the thing. That's not even from the movie. That's
right.
When he's talking to the hot dog.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
In that commercial or whatever that was.
But he does say hi to a doggy.
He does say hi to the doggy. And that woman at the flower shop that doesn't recognize him and then does, and he's her best customer. Like, wait a minute, how many, long, dark-haired, freaky-looking European guys in bad suits do you have come into your shop on a regular basis? Right. I know it's San Francisco, but still.
It's crazy.
Miami Connection, of course.
I love Miami Connection. Ralph Force, we talked about.
Yes, that one is a fun one.
That was a great. Grave of the Vampire, which we need to rewatch too.
Is that the one with the bouncing?
Yes.
The hopping?
Yes. The hopping ninjas.
Are they vampires too?
Hopping undead ninja vampires something.
That's the name of my rock band.
Right. Hopping undead ninjas.
Mm-hmm.
Hopping undead vampires.
Undead ninja vampires.
Undead ninja vampires. Okay. I will come to your show.
Thank you. I'll be here all week.
Okay.
Tip your waitress. I'm trying to think of what other good bad movies that I like. What was the shark one that had the clips from the other shark movies in it?
Oh, Cruel Jaws.
Yeah.
Cruel Jaws is amazing.
Yeah, because it has 2 other movie clips in it?
Oh, it has lots of it has clips from all of the Jaws movies. And 2 of the knockoff Jaws movies. So, and it's like 1% new footage. It's amazing. It's just like, wow, this is just a total blatant
rip-off.
It's just all it is. It's like if
the Dollar Tree made a shark movie.
Right. Especially if you've seen all these movies before.
Like, wait a minute.
It's just like I've seen that. It's just amazing. Oh, and also I guess we should get into this. The recently Joe Hodgson came out and said that he wanted to do a new version of Mystery Science Theater. And at this point, as far as I know, I don't know what he's aiming for. I don't know if he's aiming to try to get this on television.
I don't think so. I think it's strictly going to be a streaming
thing. Okay.
Does since Shout Factory owns it now, do they have streaming?
That's what I thought.
That's what I'm
If
thinking.
I was that company, I'd be like, it's exclusively on our channel.
Yeah, that's what
Pay us to watch this.
I feel like that's what it's going to be. I don't know at all.
If I was a businessman, that's what I would do. But yeah, Shout Factory, who's been putting out box sets of Mystery Science Theater for a while now, they took it over from Rhino Home Video when Rhino sort of went out of business. It sort of folded into other...
Got absorbed by other corporations?
Yeah, pretty much. I think Rhino still does like CDs and stuff like that, but they don't do home video stuff anymore. Yeah. But anyways, it's going to be a new show. They started a Kickstarter to raise money for it. The minimum goal was $2 million. Am I right?
I think so.
That was the minimum.
Yeah, that was the minimum.
Minimum. $2 million gets you 3 shows. And then if they got $3 million, you got 5 shows. And you got $4 million, you got 7 shows or something. So something. I don't think that's right. But I think the top, if you get to $5 million, you get 11 episodes of this new show.
And I have not donated. I have donated some money to Rifftrax, especially for the live shows they did this year, the Crappening.
But here's the thing. Joel is not hosting this show.
I know.
And neither is Mike. And nobody involved with the original show is going to be a part of this show. But
he has said, he's extended an invitation to everybody and hopes somebody might want to come along in the future and play.
I think he's acting as an overseer.
I think so too, yeah.
And it's not clear who's going to be writing the show either.
No, I don't know who's going to be writing.
That's, I think, is key.
Yeah.
To making this show work.
You have to have really good writers.
I think you need to have a charismatic host and good writers.
Yes.
And to make
and
the joke.
I don't know
jokes.
anything about the guy they've picked as host at all. I've never heard of him before.
Because
he seems like a nice guy.
Yeah, because we've talked about the state of comedy today.
Yeah.
And the kinds of comedy that sells as comedy today, at least in theaters and some TV shows, is mostly sex comedy and gross out.
Yeah.
And if it's that,
all that, you can have a little bit of that if you
every
have
now and
witty.
Then. Drop a sex joke in there.
Yeah.
Drop a poop joke in there. Fine.
They a few like look at my batch and all that. There was elements of that, but that wasn't the sole focus of their humor.
No, and part of it was references too.
Yes.
Here's the reference to this. Do you know what this is? Which is mainly Family Guy now. That's what Family Guy is with their jokes.
Oh, I don't watch that. So.
But anyways, who's doing all that barking outside?
It's probably Boo.
I don't know. Anyways, we actually recorded in a different location because last time we did, as if you've listened to the previous podcast,
You heard
Catman.
Chime in.
So we opted not to do that. And you also heard Moose scratching in the background. If you pay close enough attention, she was sitting on the bed next to Teresa.
And how does Moose have her name? How did she come by that?
If anybody has ever seen the short that Rifftrax put out about Moose Baby,
go to hell, Moose Baby.
Go to hell, Moose Baby. That's where my dog got her name. Moose I was quite fond of that and decided that we should call her that because it seemed like it fit. So anyways, if it's just that kind of humor, I'm not interested. And I've also not been interested up to a point. They just announced, they made 2 announcements. First, they announced Felicia Day was going to be the mad scientist of the show. And the whole internet said, not, oh, she's going to be great, or, oh, she's really terrible, just, So there's that. And I, too, was like, I don't know how that's going to work. Maybe she can pull it off. I
don't know.
Yeah.
I only know her from Supernatural.
Mm.
And her character could be a little annoying at times.
Mm.
But, I don't know her in any other capacity except for her character on Supernatural.
Mm. Wasn't she in some other show?
She's been on stuff. I just haven't seen it.
Well, I mean, what other shows has she been in?
Well, she was on Joss Whedon's Dr. Horrible sing-along thing that was on the internet. I never saw it either.
I haven't seen that.
And I don't know what else she's been on. She just suddenly, she's a thing, and I didn't ever hear of her before, and now she was on my show, and okay.
So they announced that.
Females don't last long in Supernatural.
Right. Because of the pretty man. Then about a week or 2 weeks later, they announced that the son of TV's Frank was going to be a character on the show, and he was going to be played by Patton Oswalt. And I was like, oh.
But I want him to be the host.
That's the thing. It's like, he should be the host.
Yes.
And I think he would willingly be the host if you would hire him for it. He is he's like us.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
He's like, he's a big Mystery Science Theater fan. He loves good, bad movies.
Yes.
So
I was thinking about him when we were talking about favorite bad movies, and he's where you heard of The Bed That Eats, right?
Deathbed?
Yeah.
Deathbed, yeah. That's where I first heard about that movie.
Was from him, yeah.
And I also heard Red Letter Media talking about it, and I was like, okay, I got to see this movie.
That was just bizarre.
Yeah, it's not a good movie.
No.
It's not
even one that I necessarily would want to watch again.
No, and it's very dull.
Just, okay, yeah, I've seen that now.
It's a very bizarre movie.
Yeah. But yeah, for him to be... I mean, you think about how much Frank was in the actual episode. They're squandering his talent to have him be such a minor character.
I know, absolutely. That's what I thought. And I was like, this would be a more appealing show if you had this person hosting it.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe they'll think of that somewhere along the lines and make that other guy be TV's Frank. I don't know.
I have heard the new guys that are going to voice the robots. I don't know their names. Mm-hmm. The voices sound pretty good. Mm-hmm. But to me, in my heart, the robots are always going to be Bill and Kevin.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're my guys. Who was your favorite?
Robot? Crow. Voiced by Bill Corbett.
When I watched it the first time through, I was Tom Servo all the way. And now, maybe because of the Rifftrax stuff that I've really gotten to be very fond of Bill, I like Crow more and more.
I'm a big fan of Bill.
Yeah, he's just adorable.
He is, and he's very funny. He seems to have the funnier lines, and I'm not sure if that's him or if they give him the funnier lines to say.
That.
Yeah.
You know, do they mostly stick to their own jokes that they write? Or do they kind of all throw them in a pot and you pick out who gets to say what?
They probably it's probably Second City mentality where you make the other person look good, and if you make the other person look good, you all look good. So I'm sure that's the case. But yeah, I mean I'll check the show out. I'm not saying I'm completely opposed to it.
No, I'm not either. Given our set of circumstances where we are rural and have inferior internet, we'll check it out when we're able to check it out.
Right.
Either go to my cousin's house or something where we can download it. Mm-hmm. But I'm not wetting my pants and jumping up and down to see it either because while yes, this will be MST3K for a new generation, I don't want it to do anything to tarnish what I love.
Yeah. I don't think it will.
I hope not.
I don't think so, because I think that stuff will always, it's like a book when they adapt a book and they do it differently, and and the people that you imagine, like you imagine the book a certain way, and then when you see the movie it's different.
Yeah.
Well,
it depends, because sometimes movies totally fuck it up. But yeah.
True, but I don't think. But the book was always there.
Yeah, and since Joel is still there, even as just like an overseer, I don't think he'll let his baby be run into the ground and ruined. I would hope not.
I hope not. Because it does seem like, when I first heard about it, it sounded like the last act of A Desperate Man a little bit to me.
Well, I hope not.
I hope it's not. I hope that's not the case, and I hope he's not like...
He may have been wanting to do this for years, and he was only just now able to, with the rights secured by Shout, that he could do this.
I also think it's a matter of him doing cinematic Titanic and it failing.
Yes.
And seeing what they're doing with Rifftrax and being like, oh,
a little bit of I want to be in the movie.
Yes, I can do that. I can come out. I can do one better. I can do a Mystery Science Theater show.
Yeah,
maybe. And bring it back.
Because that makes me think about Joe and go home, Joe.
Right. That's what it feels like.
I know.
To me.
I see that, and I can understand that feeling, but I hope that's not the truth.
I'm not saying that he's not a nice guy or that he shouldn't do these things.
No, it's his baby.
And I'm also saying that I'll check the show out. I don't know if I can fully support it though if I don't like it. So we'll see.
Yeah.
It's still a long ways off. They haven't shot one frame of show yet. No.
So When does the Kickstarter ends next week?
Something
This
like
week?
that.
Oh.
I have no idea.
I know. Let's see. What was it? Was it 3 years ago now that they revived Turkey Day?
Yes. 2012, I believe.
Okay.
Or maybe
13, I think.
Okay, 2013.
Oh, I could be wrong. We didn't really get to watch it because, again, of our lousy internet. But we did see the last bit with him, and he brought the robots back. And I did not expect it to hit me as hard as it did.
Oh, I did. I did. I teared up.
I
don't know
like
why.
A baby.
I have no idea why, because it just kind of came out of nowhere.
It was just it touched me so deeply that he was back with his kids, and I cried my eyes out. So this means a lot to me, and I hope the reboot succeeds. I hope good Lord, there's all kinds of fodder for things to do. But that's another thing I would like to know. What movies are they going to do? Are they going to try to do some direct-to-video schlock? Are they going to do newer movies, or what's their catalog going to be?
And are they going to cross-pollinate and do stuff that Rifftrax has already done?
Yeah.
Like, they talk about how everybody and their grandmother has done a riff of Santa Claus versus Conquers the Martians. Santa Claus conquers the Martians.
Yeah.
And it does seem like overkill. So, I don't know.
Is that the one I fell asleep on at the theater? I'm not narcoleptic or anything.
No, that's just Santa Claus.
Oh, okay.
No, you wouldn't be epileptic. You would be...
Narcoleptic.
Did you say narcoleptic? I thought you said epileptic.
No, I think I said narcoleptic.
And I was like, I don't think you were shaking violently in the theater.
No.
I don't remember that.
But I did fall asleep. Okay, since we did MST3K, what is your favorite and least favorite Rifftrax?
Favorite? Are we talking about the live shows?
Live shows. Let's stick with
live shows. Miami Connection is probably my favorite. Mainly because I just love that movie. But if you want to take that out of the equation,
the most fun you had at the theater.
Most fun I had watching show. Well, I laughed the hardest at the riffs on Miami Connection. I think they really did a super good job.
Yeah, they did.
I think that's it. And least favorite. Are we talking about live shows?
Yeah.
Probably Starship Troopers, because I felt like it wasn't a movie. That was another movie that's got satire baked into it.
That's why I wanted to bring it up, because your point earlier.
Right. It's another one of those movies that's got that's the whole point of the movie is satire.
It was intentionally satirical in the first place.
Right. It's like RoboCop.
Yeah.
Paul Verhoeven directed RoboCop, and RoboCop is not. It is an action movie, but it's a satirical action movie. That's what Starship Troopers is. And the fact that they thought that would be good to make fun of.
I mean, yes, it's a giant bug movie, but you know.
I don't know. I just disagree with that.
Yeah, that's my least favorite as well. I found myself... I had never seen Starship Troopers before either. And I found myself being bored.
Yeah.
And I got cold in the theater, and so it just seemed to go on forever, and I wanted to go home.
It's more fun to laugh at people's mistakes.
Oh yeah.
Than to laugh at their non-mistakes.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's the equivalent of some guy tripping and falling in a puddle and going ha ha ha.
Now that brings up the point of the intentionally bad movies, a la Sharknado. Birdemic started that, wasn't it? One of the first ones, or was it? Is it unintentionally bad?
It was unintentionally bad, I think. Yeah.
The second one was. Look, the other one succeeded.
Right.
Let's make another bad one.
They're doing that with Samurai Cop also. They just made a Samurai Cop 2, and I believe that's the direction they're going. Were they trying to make an intentionally bad movie?
It doesn't work.
And it doesn't work.
You can feel that it has no heart.
No.
Just like the Sharknado things. The first Sharknado was awful, but watching the riff of that, I could stand it. The second one just made me angry, and if they do the third one, I don't think I even want to go, even though we go to all the shows.
Yeah. But my point about the guy in the puddle,
yes.
I wasn't done.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. A Mystery Science, or a blindly devoted Mystery Science Theater and Rifftrax fan watches that guy crossing the puddle, and no matter what happens, they're laughing at him. If he trips and falls in the puddle, they laugh at him. If he jumps over the puddle and misses, they laugh at him. And I don't agree with that.
No, I don't either. I mostly see it in like the star ratings on the website of things, that I'll see something that I really didn't like all that well, and it's got 4 or 5 stars.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't understand it either. And yeah, the Sharknado thing. Before Sharknado came out, I did an article at the Digital Bits about Mystery Science Theater and good bad movies and the differences between good and bad movies and good bad movies and all that stuff. And I mentioned in the article that I'd never seen Sharknado and I didn't know how that was going to work. I'd seen I'd seen a movie like it previously and didn't like it at all. So I wasn't sure how that was going to work. Then we got to the theater and we watched it and we enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was fun.
And we laughed. And in retrospect, I don't know if it was the movie or the riff, because we went back when they did Sharknado 2, Rifftrax did, and it was a nightmare. I wanted to leave.
Oh, I did too. But see, I think the first one might have been a somewhat intentionally bad movie. Mm-hmm. The second was full on blatant. And then, like Family Guy, you were saying, with the references. It was like, look, see who that is? See what we did there? Isn't that funny?
Right.
And no.
And it wasn't.
It comes across as desperate, and you have no sense of humor.
You see people commenting on the fact, like when at the beginning of the movie, when the shark goes through the plane and chops off Will Wheaton's head.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody's like, oh, that was the funniest thing ever. And I'm like, why is it funny? Because it was Will Wheaton, and that you want... I don't understand.
Yeah.
And
it was references, and
right.
If that's all you have, that's pretty poor.
But I do agree with you about Sharknado, though, the first one, that I think they set out to make an intentionally bad movie, and I think they made a somewhat unintentionally bad movie.
Just because of their own ineptitude?
Right.
And lack of money to have good effects?
Or something.
Or something?
Something. I don't know, but I just know that there was stuff in there that I was like, I don't think that was intentional.
I can even still watch the riff of that. Mm-hmm. I can watch it more than once. Second one, I don't want to see.
I don't think I've seen it since we saw it in the theater.
I have.
So I don't know if I'd still.
But the second one, I don't care to own or even get legally or anything. I just don't want to see it again.
Right.
That was.
And by the way, we are supporters of these things. We have bought all of the box sets of Mystery Science Theater, including the out-of-print ones. And we've got all the Rifftrax DVDs, and we download all the usual Rifftrax downloads and stuff. And so we're not sitting here making judgment on things that we
haven't invested in.
We haven't invested in. We have
financially or emotionally.
We have made major financial investment in this. So this isn't just off the cuff commentary about something that we know very little about. We know quite a bit about it because we've spent a long time delving into it. So.
But again, most of these are just our personal opinions.
Oh, yes.
So if you differ, then that's fine.
That's fine. You can have a different opinion. I mean, if you really enjoy, for the Rifftrax commentary on Jaws, fine. I don't, and I don't even care to look into that. I love Jaws, and I don't want to sit there and make fun of it. I want to sit there and watch the movie because it's a good movie.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, did you want to talk about what we found out about last week with the new Rifftrax app before we quit?
Oh, yes. I forgot about that. Okay, they announced during the Santa Claus...
and the Ice Cream Bunny.
And the Ice Cream Bunny. I forgot the title.
How could you forget the Ice Cream Bunny? He's only in the last 5 minutes.
I'm trying to forget the movie altogether. It fucks with my brain.
I wish they had done a live show of Fun in Balloon Land, not to get off topic, because that one is... it with a bunch of people would have been
I want them to do a live show of nothing but shorts.
That would be great.
They did it.
Go to that. They did that with the Sketchfest?
They did that at Sketchfest, but it was only for one show, and it wasn't broadcast live the way they do with the Rifftrax live shows. I want them to do a broadcast live Rifftrax show with nothing but shorts.
I would rather they do that than the encore of The Room and...
That's fine for people who want to see it again.
So.
But if when they do another show, I would like them to do something like that.
That would be fun.
That's what I would like. But anyways.
Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
App. At the Santa Claus and the Ice Cream Bunny show, they announced that they had a new app that they were coming out with, which supposedly you could download to your phone and you could sync Rifftrax commentaries to any movie that you were watching, no matter where you were watching it, whether you were watching it at home, whether you were watching it in the theater.
And they would be including new movies hinted at Star Wars.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And they were talking about, they hinted at Star Wars, and I thought, nobody is going to see The Force Awakens to make fun of it.
Odds are anybody that would want to listen to it, they'll be going back 2 or 3 times before they listen to the commentary.
Right.
But my thought is,
Mm-hmm.
everybody whipping out their phone is going to light up the theater,
Absolutely.
disturb everybody around you.
Yep.
The thing, most likely, given what I know about electronic devices, there's going to be some hiccups with the sync.
Mm-hmm.
So you may have to pause it or jump ahead a little bit. So again, you've got your phone out, it's lit up like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And either people are going to hate you, possibly shoot you, or you're going to get thrown out of the theater. And
Yeah.
you've ruined everybody else's experience. So I don't think that is, to have it in your home, that's fine. But to do current movies in the theater, I think it's ultimately a bad idea.
Yeah, I do too. It just seems so misguided. Like, and I think Red Letter Media did that a while back.
Oh, did they?
They did a Mr. Plinkett commentary for The Phantom Menace when they re-released it in 3D.
Oh, I didn't even know about that. I hate those things. So
Yeah, they're terrible movies. But
they made me watch them.
They only did it once, though. They only did the 3D once for one movie, and it did so poorly that they didn't do it anymore.
Yay!
I think it did pretty good.
Long the Witch is Dead.
I think it did pretty good, but it didn't do the kind of business. It wasn't business savvy enough to do
George
more.
Lucas could.
Right? Yeah. I can't make very much money off of these 3D conversions.
I could get more money out of my couch cushions.
How come James Cameron is doing so well with his 3D? I want to do 3D. Can I play?
Go home, Joe. Go
No,
home, George.
I don't
You can't
want
be
to.
in the movie.
I don't want to. Do you know I married a black lady?
What does that have to do with anything?
It's very progressive.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
I
trying
know.
to promote my movie
I
Red
know.
Tails
Oh, Lord.
by marrying a black woman.
Is that why he did it?
That's
Just
exactly
to,
why.
Oh, okay. I don't
It's
think
got
you're
nothing.
right.
It's
But
got nothing to do with the fact that I love black women.
shut up. I have heard that besides the internet losing its mind over a black stormtrooper, which is just silly. Come on. What about Lando? He was
Right.
that I think the posters in China have completely minimized John Boyega's character in the posters, and it's like, come on, people, don't be stupid.
They're afraid of black people. Then
I get her something.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. It just seems. in this
maybe
day
they
and
know.
age,
Maybe they know something we don't. Maybe
Like what?
maybe
Like he's
his
bad?
maybe his role in the movie is not as
pivotal as we've
pivotal
been led
as
to
we've been led to believe.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't either. But anyway,
Anyways.
I don't think having a Riff app in the movie theater is going to win you any friends of the people sitting around you.
Yeah, I think it's a bad idea. I think that's a great idea for doing stuff at home.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You just get your phone out and do it.
Yeah.
You're like laying in bed in front of the TV, and you just get your phone out, press play, start the thing on your phone. Fine,
That's fine.
totally fine.
But you know how bright phones are now.
Oh, yeah.
We all have our virtual flashlight in our pocket.
And the rules for cell phones in theaters is changing, and it should.
Yeah, oh,
because
yeah.
it just started out, please silence your cell phone. That was the rule that everybody said. Please silence your cell phone. Now and then it morphed into, please don't talk and text. And now it's morphed into keep your phone dark and silent in your pocket. Because
Next step is a guy at the door with a basket that you put your
right,
phone in before
put your
you
phone in the basket before you come into the
like
theater.
it was school or something.
Right.
Well, shall we wrap up?
Yeah, I think we've
I
talked
think
too
our
much.
patent papers are at a slight angle.
I
and
do
it's
believe so.
Time to go.
Right. No, you can't be. Your dad?
We're-
No, I'm not.
It's time to be as elusive as Robert Denby and say goodbye.
You're correct. Okay, we're out of here. We hope you enjoyed, and we'll be back next time. Well, I don't know if Teresa will be.
Maybe we'll see. Depends on what we talk about.
Right. Okay. Well,
Okay.
All right. We'll see you next time. This is Tim.
This is Teresa. Bye.
Bye.